good? I think we're good. Okay. Pour my chat monitor. Wow. It's so bright. I'm being blasted. Alright, give me a second here. I'm just gonna set my chat. Okay. I'm gonna apologize in advance. This is gonna be a little tricky for me to read chat from either position today, because my phone is closest to me and is down like in front of me, and then my computer is a ways to my left because my TV is too big for the stand and fits in one very specific way. So apologies in advance. Oh, the light. Because I am going to be not as visible for quite a while. Or, my chat is going to be not as visible for basically the entire duration of the stream. My water is really far away too. I should put my water closer to me. I should, bear with me. I'm gonna move that to over in front of me. Wow. That's better. So now the water is a little far, but not as far. Yeah. Okay. Apologies. I just love how when the screen goes white, I am just blasted with light. So I guess you'll get to really see the action. That the color of the race will be blasting onto my face the entire time. But yeah, I just wanted to do this. Here, let me make sure my mic is in the right mode. It is. Okay, good. Should help mitigate any feedback from the TV. I know, almost. It's in German. It would be DurchBurch, not DurchBurch. But yeah, that was a thing I did not know because I'm not German. I don't know German. I have a little German in me, but like, I'm not German. And I did not know in advance. Because I chose the name because my nickname in high school and middle school was Durch, which stemmed from like a mispronunciation of my name. And someone once wrote my name on a document. Like it was like a little like certificate of completion for an event that I was at. And they accidentally had put a B. And you could see that there was a B, and then they scribbled into the Sharpie a D over the B. And so for that day, we had the running joke, and this was, I think, like 8th grade, maybe freshman year of high school, but I think this was like 8th grade. And so I'm sitting there, and for the day, my nickname has transitioned from Durch to Birch. And then when I was trying to come up with like my online persona, that was kind of what stuck out to me. It was to combine the two. And that was it. That was where it came from. But I'm going to start online play here and very quickly put together a character. I'm gonna stick with my main for this game. Ooh, you know what I should do, actually? I should go through my mains, like, down the line. So I think this was my original main in the original game. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through all of my mains historically in this game, periodically switching it up as I play. This is going to be fun. Okay, cool. They're in lap 1, so I have plenty of time to talk. Like Sonic ones? Great question, because aren't they like technically aliens? Like the name would imply that they're like a spirit or a ghost, but like they're like an alien, right? Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Sonic Wisps. I feel like this would be if they were to do like a gritty live action Sonic movie that's not in the current Sonic universe, but like Michael Bay directs Sonic the Hedgehog and there's explosions and everything constantly and stuff like that. You know, if we wanted to get like gritty, I think Wisps would be like a parasitic organism probably that exists as like a swarm, and those swarms take the form of the wisp that you like see in game, but then they can, you know, enter a host and sort of like become a part of them, almost like Venom symbiote style, you know, forming that symbiotic relationship. And while they're in that host, they can make changes to the host based on the type of wisp. So like different species of this parasite symbiote thing in large enough groups can modify a being to make them function in certain specific ways. I think that is, if you wanted to make the grittiest possible version, I think that's probably it. Some sort of symbiotic relationship, though, I think would be the easiest explanation for how they work in canon. But I don't know. That's all. That's all that comes to mind. You know, I'm gonna do Wii Rainbow Road. I haven't played in a while. That's kind of a hard choice to start with, but you know, it's fine. We got F-Zero and 2 Rainbow Roads. What could go wrong? We're only going to be like 150 to 100 cc. It's fine. Do I have the volume to... up it a little bit more. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be doing like much on the microphone at all. Because right now, like, since the microphone, I always have it set up to have one direction when I'm streaming. It doesn't really pick up the TV that well, so I can actually have the TV at a slightly louder volume than I might have had it in the past and not really see anything. But okay, this is crazy because this TV is so big and so close to me right now. I feel like I'm in like a simulator or something that has like a wraparound screen almost. This is insane. Like, I feel like I can't look at everything on screen at once. This TV is gonna go crazy for split screen. Not gonna lie. Ah. Look at that. I'm not used to this, this character vehicle combination anymore. This was like day one, my main. Was Lakitu. I'm gonna do like a couple races as Lakitu. I'm pretty sure I do have my next main that I developed. On this Switch. I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm sure there are going to be some viewers who might not necessarily take offense. I don't know. There may be some. Maybe some. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, I need to have more access to stuff. I'm saving this for the shortcut up ahead. Ooh, okay. We dodged it. I messed that up. Okay, I still got fourth. That's fine. Well, so normally what I would do is when I'm playing on my Switch, I rotated my old TV, but my old TV was like a 32-inch tiny TV. I got like one of the cheapest 4K 120 hertz refresh rate TVs I could. And that TV was 55 inches. The width of the stand is wider than my like entertainment center, so I have to angle the TV very specifically. There's like a millimeter of gap on either side, like tiniest amount of clearance. And so yeah, like with this TV not being able to be rotated to face my normal corner that's next to my computer, you are instead seeing what is directly to the side of me when I'm normally streaming. And like my couch back there that from my computer screen is just barely visible is like in the background. Don't mind the blanket on it. Interesting option. Hypothetically, and I think you could technically have ones other than chloroplasts as well. Technically speaking, like chloroplasts just absorb all but green light, because they're based on the chlorophyll pigment. But you could technically use non-green reflecting pigments to get the same effect. So you could even argue that it's something akin to a chloroplast, but that it is its own like light absorbing photosynthetic organ, and that you could really get just about any color from that. You could maybe even say, because like the wisps kind of have like a glow to them, if I'm remembering correctly. So like you could maybe even say like, oh, they're not only are they photosynthetic, but they are like fluorescent, you know, like these pigments can glow when hit with like certain wavelengths of light, which actually means that what they reflect is brighter than, you know, the amount of light that they're actually reflecting, because it's both reflection and like newly, not generated light, but like, I don't know, like it's giving off photons, not just reflecting. It's a combination of the two, because that's actually a thing we do with like certain paints. And like safety vests and stuff like that, is not only does it have a bright pigment, it also we use something that both reflects the light really brightly, we use something that both reflects the light really well and also under ultraviolet light emits some light. And then that makes it so that when it's being hit by the sun, it's not just reflecting the light, but it's giving off light. So it's brighter than it would be just reflecting sunlight. It's really cool. So like maybe hypothetically you could have something that does that as well. Yeah, honestly, hypothetically, if there was something where it had like chloroplasts in its eyes, yeah, realistically you would be if it was green chloroplasts, you'd be reflecting that green light and you would have no sensitivity to green light. That's actually like one of the, well, it's weird because you don't want your irises to absorb it. So if the irises were green, they would be reducing all other light that enters your eye, and you would maybe see things with a slightly greener tint. if it was like a really saturated green, because darker iris colors can be beneficial in brighter environments because your iris is absorbing some of that light before it hits your retinas, giving you like slightly, and this is a very slight effect, like slightly better of an experience viewing. So this is a mirror mode race. I was like, wait a minute, this feels wrong. Why are we going this way? Also, I wonder how people are going to react to the fact that I guarantee this is not going to be the case. I'm like 90% sure mirror mode will not exist in Mario Kart World. And I wonder if that's going to make people mad. But yeah, like, darker brown eyes seem to pair with, like, darker skin tones a lot. And as far as I think the scientific understanding, I might be off on this, was that they were just selected for because you were able to, like, adapt, like, your eyes were able to adapt to the sun a little easier because they're not reflecting light into themselves or something like that. I don't remember how it works, but like something like that. And like if you have like those really like super bright blue eyes, you actually really struggle in like snowy environments because your eyes aren't absorbing that light before it hits your retina. So it just feels even brighter to you. My eyes are what's technically called like a golden hazel. Almost looks brown, but it's yellower than that. More like an amber color in the right light. And it's basically, I think the way it works is if your eye color is brown and yellow instead of brown and blue. I was hoping that would let me just drive off-road, and did not. No! Oh my god. Karma. Karma, I got last place. Whoa! There it is. So it depends. If I'm writing it on its own and I want someone to be able to read it as a 1, like it's not for myself, what I'll usually do is I'll do like the little like, I'll do it backwards for me so that it's forwards for you. So I'll do like the little like floop at the top, down, and then the base. But if it's just me, I just do the line. Like I do that. Because I don't do that with I. Like the letter I for me, I do like both the top and bottom bars. So when I do 1, I do 1 like the 1 in like the countdown timer here. Or it's just a line. Yeah, that's how I do it. But yeah, hypothetically, like your eye color has a slight impact on your how you perceive certain colors, and like how you handle bright lights. Just like a small amount. But hypothetically, if you had an organ that was entirely dedicated to absorbing a specific color of light, you would not really see that color of light nearly as well. Or sorry, if your eye color was was a pigment that was like very specifically reflecting a singular color. I am not used to a character of this weight class. Or this vehicle at this point, honestly. Also, this is going to be my last race as Lackey 2. Or I guess Lucky 2. I don't know. I flubbed that. I think there were some rumors that Mario Kart World, instead of mirror mode, is going to have a reverse cup, where you're like driving backwards on the track, which I've always felt is more interesting than mirror mode. Like, to drive the track backwards, way more interesting. That was something that they did in some of the like quests and the mission mode from Mario Kart DS. I don't know. I saw it coming. Okay, at least I got the mushroom boost off that guy. Whee. No! You monster. You monster. That's so mean. They aimed. They aimed. Not everyone knows you can aim a bullet bill, but I do, and I know they aimed that. They got it. I mean, yeah, it could be, honestly, you could do that idea with plants or with animals. You know, things that have evolved to mimic things, yeah. I think that's a very easy, sort of like speculative evolution path. Because it fits in with, like, you know, the fantasy mimic lore where it's like, oh, it's this creature that pretends to be a treasure chest. It looks like a treasure chest. In some things, it's like, oh, it lives inside one. But in a lot of, like, people who try to take it in the more biological route, they take it in that, like, oh, it's an animal or it's a plant that just has evolved to look like this specific thing that people are drawn to because it eats people. Oh, I forgot to switch characters. It's fine. One more. No! That's mean. Fun fact, this specific cart design, like this combination of parts, is what I was using actually day one. I saw it in an old Facebook memory from 2011. Day one with this game. Where I was using this specific cart combination, and there were a couple screenshots for it in a specific cart combo, and that was probably at the time that I was just wrapping up the 100cc 3 stars. I had every character unlocked day one, like of the original roster, which like is a little less impressive when you remember that the original roster is not super huge in this game, but still. Alright, Bowser Jr. doesn't have anything behind him. Yeah. Gotcha. I was hoping it would not go so tight on that turn. Alright. I got the double item. I was hoping I would get some, like, sort of mushroom. Ah, I almost passed him. Fourth's not too bad. Not too bad. I'll take it. Okay, I need to remember I'm switching characters. Ah, sweet, I got boob. Nice. Okay. I need to switch characters now. And carts very quickly. Okay. So I need to go to my Mii's. Where is he? I know he's in here somewhere. Is he not in here somewhere? Oh no, he might not be. I don't think I have him. Oh, do I have a middleweight? Actually, he might be a heavyweight technically, so I'll just pick Banana Man. I don't have time. Oh god, I don't have time. This is not what I needed. It forced me out. I didn't have time. Okay, so I have to adjust this next one. That's unfortunate. I couldn't. No, he was definitely middleweight. He was definitely middleweight, anyways. Who do I have that's middleweight? I guess I could just pick a character that's a middleweight and go from there. Splatoon gear. You can't see my eyes because I'm Banana Man. And his eyes are really high up. Oh no. That turn always screws me up. See, there's a boo in front of me. He's trying to hit him. No. Shock dodge too. Ooh. Got that a little weird, but it's fine. Somehow this is working out okay. I was worried that this was going to be really weird for me because it's like I've never used this cart combination really. I think the only time I've used a heavyweight and this style of vehicle where it's like this stat distribution was when I did my Bowser and Mr. Scooty video like years ago. Okay. A lot of people do not get those corners right. Okay. I need to adjust my character very quickly. Okay, I need a middleweight me, which is the weight of Mario. So I'm just gonna take Mario. It's actually what I'll do. Just take Mario. I need the Wild Wiggler, and I need the buttons. And I think I did use this. So, I no longer have the Mii, apparently, but I had a Mii that I used for this. It was a Jesus Mii. That was my main for a long time, was I mained Jesus. In fact, if you look at my Wii U copy of Mario Kart 8, my most played character and all vehicle parts for a long time was me, Wild Wiggler, Button, Clouds. The Happy Clouds. Genuinely were my longest running vehicle combination that I had in the game, hands down. Now, the stats are probably slightly different in this version of the game. A lot of vehicle and, like vehicle piece stats were tweaked. Oh, yeah, it doesn't work. I was wondering if it would. Did not. Yeah, this specific combo was very long-standing for me. Got a lot of playtime out of me. I think Jesus was my main basically until just before college. Like in my senior year. Oh no, maybe it was my junior year of high school actually. I had transitioned because the game came out 2014. Yeah, because it was 11 years ago. Oh, that's so mean. They stole my golden mushroom. Oh, goodbye, all my coins. But yeah, I got the game 2014, which would have been, it was late 2014, which would have been like right at the tail end of, if not just after, my sophomore year of high school. Oh, okay. That was scary. I was not hitting that angle right. Okay, I was able to get a solid third. But yeah, so yeah, I was maining Jesus for a long time, actually. At least into 2015, maybe a little into 2016. But I think, I want to say it was maybe just 2014 into 2015. Because I made a bunch of alternative versions. Wait, actually, I want to swap back to my normal me. There we go. Anyways, he was my main for a while on this specific vehicle combination. Afterwards, I transitioned to a different me, which I do have on this system, and so I will be able to show that. But anyways, what? Okay, with that whole entire be. I would say it wouldn't necessarily count as a vaccine. So the vaccine has to be specifically applied and is non-spreadable. I don't think you can make a spreadable vaccine. Maybe you could. Maybe someday that would be a thing people could make, like an effectively herd immunity vaccination that you are injecting someone with a weakened form of the virus that's still transmissible. But I think that might violate some medical consent laws or something like that, and people would not be fans of that. So that's probably not a legal thing you're allowed to do. But hypothetically, I guess that is something that could happen. But with a computer version of that, like I don't know if I would consider that like a computer virus vaccine more than I would consider that just a positive virus. I don't know what you would call a positive virus. Maybe a virophage. You know, bacteriophage viruses are very useful in certain like antibiotic treatments. If someone has like a specific like bacterial infection, we can employ these bacteriophage viruses in certain cases. It's still, like, as far as I understand it, like pretty experimental. It's not a widely done thing, but it does exist. So maybe we would call that like a virophage Trojan or something like that, where, you know, it's not something that you know you're inviting on your computer, or a virophage worm. I dodged the items, but well, people are kind of clustering up here. I'm not a huge fan of that this late in the game. Woo. Oh, I should have kept some protection. Oh, I had a decent lead. Alright, I'm good. I think I like the idea of it being called a virophage worm, because I think a worm is the name for a computer virus that spreads itself from device to device over like local networks and stuff like that. Like a Trojan can contain a worm and then infect every device on a network with said worm. Which obviously not usually a good thing, but hypothetically, if its entire purpose was to fight other computer viruses and other worms, I think that it would still be a worm. It would just be like specifically one that targets other viruses. So I like the idea of it being a virophage. You could maybe have like virophage blank type for like what type of virus it is. So like a virophage Trojan type, virophage worm type, any of those other like computer virus nomenclature type things. The internet do be a series of tubes. There's a series of tubes carved out by worms, apparently. This is race number 3 with this one. So I'm going to do one more after Maple Tree Way. And then I'm going to pick the actual character that I used after. I used Jesus, who has been replaced with Mario. Is that a political statement of some sort? No. It is a funny statement. Super Mario died for us once. Alright. Whoa! It was a really weird respawn route. It was like, yeah, you'll go all the way up this. Why not? What? I am at 10th. Ah! They aimed that. I saw that. See them swerve into me? Alright. They used that mushroom like a split second before I would have stolen it. I missed the item box. Okay, 4th again. Not complaining. Alright. It's hard to say. Since they don't exist anymore, we can't know for sure if they actually were or not. But I think the funniest possibility is that that was a stereotype of the earliest of like Homo sapiens. When they saw Neanderthals, they were like, these guys are dumb, we're smart. We're smart, they're dumb. And then like that idea has just like stuck around somehow in our subconscious, like as a society since then. I think that's the funniest possible path. I don't think it's the case, but I think that would be very funny. Personally, and this is a little bit of a hot take, I feel that, one, not all art has a message, and two, not all art is political. Because for it to be political art, I think that it has to have a message, and that message has to be political. At the same time, I think that all art is societally influenced, can be politically influenced, but that doesn't make it political art. I think it makes it art with a political influence, which is, in some people's case, they would define that as political. But I think that to outright define it as political, it has to be political. That's my personal take on it. So, like, for example, you know, if I was to draw a picture of a cloud, clouds currently, actually there are clouds that are politicized, but generally speaking, clouds not politicized, not a political thing. If I drew just a cloud, it's not explicitly political. It doesn't even have explicit meaning necessarily. Like, it could have meaning, it could mean something, but if I just drew it to draw it, it doesn't really have a meaning. You can ascribe meaning to it as the viewer, but I don't think that that makes it art that contains meaning. I think it's art where meaning can be found. It's like there's a nuance there that I feel exists that not everyone agrees with, because in a lot of cases someone will feel that if you can do that in the first place, then that means that it has meaning, that, you know, meaning can be put in both by the viewer and by the creator. I personally feel that there's in any piece with meaning one true meaning, and that true meaning is whatever the artist meant it to be. If the artist meant for it to be interpreted by other people and did not put their own meaning onto it for that reason, then I will say that the audience's meaning and the audience's interpretation actually matters in a major capacity for the meaning of a piece. But personally, I feel that as an artist, that is a cop-out. You have to, if you want your piece to be meaningful, I think you have to put that meaning there. And I think the same thing is true politically. If you want your piece to be political, you have to put that political meaning there. There has to be that political intent, and it has to be put there by the artist. No one can make that piece, if it's apolitical, political. They could politicize it to make it political, but that requires a larger social movement. Like, you can politicize something like the marbles, which does have a little politics in it, but like hypothetically, I'm just picking a random MCU movie. You can politicize it in specific ways. That doesn't mean that it's political in those ways. Like I chose that because it is an example of a movie that is politicized by a lot of people in ways that it might not necessarily be meant to be. I'm going to use like my cloud example. Someone could go and look at that cloud and be like, smoking is bad, smoking should be illegal. That's what this says. And they could really, like, the whole, like, anti-smoking, like, charity organizations and stuff like that, they could take that and run with it. They could use that piece as a symbol and say, smoking's bad, that's what this piece means. They could politicize it. But the cloud itself wasn't political art in the first place. And it's not political art now, it's politicized. It's something that someone manually went and was like, this is now political, I'm making it political. But that's a little bit different. It's a little different to me. I think that at that point, there's a nuance in that it wasn't intended to be that way. It was made that way by someone. Also, I think I have done another additional race. It's fine. After this race, I'm gonna swap again. Oi. But yeah, personally, if you asked me, I would say that drawing you did is not necessarily political. It could be. If you had a political intention behind it, sure. If you were just drawing it to draw it, or drawing it to evoke how you felt in that moment or something like that, then it's meaningful, but not necessarily political. I think it's honestly... it's a little exaggerative when people are like, oh, everything is political, everything is political. And I'm like, I think there are things that are political, and those are things that directly deal with, like, politics, law, leadership. Those are political. But I would say that anything that is not explicitly tied to governance is instead social. And I think that any art with meaning has social ramifications. It is a piece of social art that addresses some sort of social issue of some sort. I think that's a safer thing to say because, we live in a society, but a society is not necessarily political. You can politicize a society, you can make it a political society, hypothetically. By having politics involved, having governance involved, but in like an anarchist scenario, it's like, that's not political at that point. It is the opposite of political. It's like saying that, like, atheism is a religion. It's not. It's the absence of one. So, like, an anarchy is not political. It's the absence of politics. It is an apolitical society if it is anarchist, because there's no social order means no politics. But there's still social issues in an anarchy. because an anarchist society is still a society. Those hot takes on art by DurchBurch. Oh wait. Oh, gotta swap characters. Alright, here's Liugi. Oh wait. Oh god, I don't have time. Oh, that's not the vehicle I need. Oh no. Oh no. I have no choice. Also, we have a beautiful choice of character amongst us. Air quotes, sarcasm. I mean, I say that as someone who used to main Jesus, but a little different. I would say that is a little fishy. Okay, so this is going to be tough because this is not, again, not the usual kit I use for this character. So we're going to be getting behind. This is a sport bike, which is very different. Not something I use in this game a lot. I keep trying to drift way at the wrong time. A lot of drifting in Mario Kart is timing more than anything. It's like, when do you start your drift? When do you tighten up on your drift? And like, that's the biggest difference with these like sport bikes and stuff like that, is they have a different timing on their drifts. We're gonna no. You evil child, you, baby Mario. Ooh, that's that. Oh, that was after me anyways. Okay, now I can put myself into the correct vehicle. Also noticing this. I'm realizing I did not fully answer your question. I would say, unless it had a message that one would consider woke, I don't think it would be woke. If that makes sense. Like, at its core, the concept that we call wokeness. So this was my next main. It was Liugi, the Bitty Bud, or Bitty Buggy, and the slick tires. That was my next main. Middleweight me, Bitty Buggy, slick tires. But at its core, you know, if we look at what wokeness is, it is being awake to societal inequities. So, like, that's the overall core of the concept. If that is a meaning you chose to impart, then yes. Otherwise, it has to be made that way. Like, someone has to effectively, like, politicize it in that way. Not all art is inherently woke. Some art is. For example, something I recently watched, one of my favorite shows at this point of all time. Andor, very woke, exceedingly woke. In fact, it is so woke, I don't know how Disney even greenlit it. That is where we're at. Because the thing is, a lot of people accuse them of, accuse Disney of being very woke. But I would argue Disney is inherently, they're safe. They're not woke, they're safe. You know, they will pander to woke crowds, but they aren't woke in what they create, if that makes sense. Like, they will try to court people who are woke. It does not typically work, because if there's one thing people who are woke can do, it is identify when someone is trying to pander to them, you know, while actually not supporting what they agree with, what they think. It doesn't always work. Sometimes people who, you know, are woke, so to speak, can get tricked. Like an example I think of is former US President Barack Obama. Not that he outright tried to trick people, but more so that people saw him as like, oh, he's a black man, he has to be, like, he's a black man and he's a Democrat and he's very left-leaning for like your typical like liberal politician, you know, for the time. He, you know, obviously the terms weren't being used nearly to the same, but like effectively they were like, oh, he has to be woke. And the answer was that he was not. He was liberal still, and, you know, he was more woke than past presidents, but not necessarily in that full ballpark that, you know, people would consider like nowadays to be woke. You know, he still did things that people are like, that's not woke. No. Oh, that was rough. Rough final lap. But like, I would say like he's an example of someone where like people thought he was like way further left than he was. Partially because he was, but it was ineffective at the time to be that far, and so he had to lean more and more moderate. But even then, I would argue like he was never as far as people were really thinking he would be. You know, he was not like a Bernie Sanders like figure or something where like in U.S. politics he was like relatively far left. Like he was just left of center left ish, you know, for the time, relatively speaking. But, you know, I think of something like Captain Marvel, a movie that was like super politicized, where people were like, this movie is woke nonsense, this is ridiculous, they're just being insanely woke, and they're trying to shove feminism down our throats. Like, there were a lot of people who were like trying to say that. And the thing was, they were kind of, they wanted feminists to give them money. that was what they were doing. Like, Disney was like, we want the money from the feminists, so we will make something that we as like there were, don't get me wrong, there were feminists involved, but like the corporate people at the top were like, we will make something the feminists want, and then the end product is like inherently this like overly preachy, not truly feminist piece that tries to have a veneer of feminism. Because while it maybe started within the team itself, like the team of creatives behind it, a lot more feminist in its messaging, that all got pared back because it needed to be feminist but also safe. We needed to get feminist money, but we also needed to get not feminist money. And in the end, they made a product that didn't really appeal to either group that much. You know, people who were going to complain if it was very feminist still complained that it was very feminist, even though it really wasn't. And in the end, it was an okay movie. Like, it was fine. Like, it wasn't this like atrociously bad piece of media. It was just, it was not great, and it was not what they wanted it to be. Like the creative behind it. But then you look at a movie like Andor, or a series like Andor, and it is, I would argue, not just woke. I would argue it is a piece of outright like socialist media, like, but it is so good that you don't hear a lot of people complain that it is. It started to have people complaining that it was with season 2, but there weren't a lot of people who were really vocally against it, because it's just a really good piece of media that happens, and it's not super preachy with it. It tells this really compelling narrative. Like, I know people who are like moderate to conservative who loved season 1. And at the same time, like, I can look at it and be like, this is so deeply entrenched in like this very, I wouldn't say fringe, like, it's not fringe, but it's like this very, compared to what most people expect out of Disney productions, extreme political views. You know, it's a very far left show. Very cool that it even got made. Very good show. Very woke show. I'm gonna go to Wildwood. I love Wildwood. Yeah, that is some political art. You want to look at political art? Watch Andor. Watch Andor, seasons 1 and 2. Some of my favorite TV ever made. I know they originally wanted to run 5 seasons. I don't think they needed it. I kind of liked that season 2 was this like fast-paced rush to the end. I would not have liked it to be 5 seasons, because people would have like aged so much that then going from Andor to Rogue One would have been really jarring. Which even now, like, going from Andor to season 2 to Rogue One, it's like, oh wow, these people are a little younger here. You can tell that this was almost 10 years ago, you know, at this point. Like, it's not the end of the world that that's the case, but, like, you notice it. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things is, if you want to know what woke media actually is, it's probably something that is going to have views that anyone can get behind. Because at the end of the day, I think that sort of like woke views appeal to everyone. They just are turned against them by parties that specifically benefit from people disagreeing with those views. So, you know, your hyper wealthy people who don't want to have to pay their fair share in taxes, or your politicians who get a lot of money from corporations. You know, they don't want you to know what it actually means to be woke, if that makes sense. Like, they don't want you to know that Andor is, like, truly a piece of leftist art. Like, it's not just a political piece. It is, like, truly a piece of, like, leftist, like, very far left art that is what wokeness is. You know, it's this very clearly defined, like, this is the societal issues present in, like, the Galactic Empire. And, you know, this is leftist infighting at times. This is, like, you're seeing all of these pieces, and it's like, this is true woke art. But they don't want you to think that it is. Because if you realize that it is, you might start to think about how similar it is to your own life in some ways. You know, in an exaggerated way, obviously. But, like, you might see some similarities, be like, huh, why are we kind of like the Empire? Really cool. Really cool stuff. Anyway, we had art hot takes with DurchBurch. Now we have had political discourse with DurchBurch today. Mario Kart 8 is really bringing it out of us. We got DK Mountain. Got a lot of DK Mountain. Are we gonna get it? Yes. Nice. Look at that. I forget how many I've done with Lyugi. I'm gonna do one more after this. I love that these, like, booster course pass tracks have now been explicitly stated to be a, not just a second thought, but like a last second, oh man, we have not done any Mario Kart on the Switch 1, and we've been in development on this Mario Kart game for the Switch 2 for a little while. We need to do something on the Switch that was not on the Wii U beyond, like, base Mario Kart 8 Deluxe having the Wii U DLC built in. Which I honestly thought that the Booster Course Pass was probably, like, developed by, like, a Mario Kart B team. Like, here's some of the, like, rookies while they were developing the next game, or, like, ahead of developing the next game, so that, you know, the rookies could kind of be brought up to be like, this is how you make Mario Kart stuff. But no, it's apparently, I mean, it could have been like that, but it was while they were developing Mario Kart World. Which, I honestly think, from a development time standpoint, I think $80 might be right, now that we know that the game has been in development longer than either Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Because Breath of the Wild had 5.5 years development time, Tears of the Kingdom had, like, 6 years or something like that development time. I feel like I'm doing great. Why am I in 7th? Me looking at the position count all of a sudden. Alright, well, I got 4th. I do not have, like, this is just in, like, the worldwide lobby. So if you find me in worldwide, feel free. But I'm not in, like, a private lobby or anything. Oh, there's a squirrel on our window. Squirrel, what are you doing? Get down from there. There's a squirrel on our window. The cats are like, oh my god.
What's happening?
There's a squirrel on the window. Well, he came down. He's on the he's on the air conditioner and Buzz scared him away. It's funny, I like saw it on the reflection on the TV, I think, first. And then I was like, what is that? And I turned, there's like a squirrel that was like climbing up the window on like the mesh. Looked like a youngish, like gray squirrel. I don't know. It's not a private lobby, so it's like, I think if you just go in worldwide, there's a chance you might find me. I don't know, I'm not sure how it works. I have not honestly joined people or had people join outside of like private lobbies online or like tournaments and stuff like that. Cause like I've played with like streamers before, like sometimes ahead of like the like Zelda Dungeon Marathon, they would have done like some just like Mario Kart or something like that prior to. And I joined them a couple times. I think they just set up like a tournament temporarily or like something along those lines, and I joined that way. But I don't know if it's doable from a worldwide server system, unless you just hop on and maybe get into the room. I mean, I'm not in a full room, so there's a chance. And you could hypothetically try to fish for the room by trying to get into it and then trying to get into it. But I can't promise anything. Apologize. Coins. I need to... No. Ah, that sucks. Got hit by the star, I think, twice. Gonna dodge that. I don't think they were steering at all. Someone doesn't know they can steer the bullet bill. I feel like the guy in, like the meme where it's like the guy in the corner of a party while everyone's like having fun and talking and just like doing whatever, but it's like me going like, they don't know you can steer the bullet bill. It's me right now. They have a green shell behind them, so it's not gonna hit, but gets rid of their defense. It's fine, because I have the shortcut. Oh, I missed it. I was not at the right angle. That would have been so cool if that worked. Would have been so cool if that worked. I couldn't. Is Buzz not here? I thought Buzz was behind me. Yeah. Hey. It's funny, like, I'm normally, like, tucked in this corner where I can't really, like, turn much, but I can just, like, 360 here. Crazy. That's where Buzz is. He's in the kitchen. He hears food noises, and he's like, maybe I can get something. Oh, wait. Ah, it's fine. It's too late. One more Liugi. Well, honestly, I was playing Liugi when this one came out. Liugi was my main when Mario Kart 8 Deluxe launched, and I still was playing him. So, I only have one main left, which is kind of crazy to me. That in this time I've already played each of my mains in this game, except for the last, which is who I usually play as on streams, to be honest. Alright. I'm just happy the Hitler guy's gone. I don't need that face popping up on my stream when I'm behind him all the time. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, one of the things that I found most charming about Mario Kart World, and like the communication around it and the advertising for it, has been how much of the stuff is just like the developers going, yeah, this game was really hard to make, and we were gonna put it on the Switch, and then it didn't work. It couldn't work good. So we just kept trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing, and then eventually, you know, we got the specs for the next one, and we're like, do we just say screw it, we skip the Switch and make a Switch 2 game? And then all the team was like, yeah, I guess we do. I think there's something really nice about how candid they were with just like, this was a difficult game for us to develop. There's a lot of like trial and error. There was a lot of time spent discussing like, are we going to have to make these cuts that we never thought we would want to make, like frame rate cuts or resolution cuts, you know, below where they normally would. And then thanks to the Switch 2 specs and then being able to start developing in earnest for Switch 2 starting in 2020, and then getting like about 5 years of development time on the new system, they were able to make a game that like doesn't run poorly and that does all the things they wanted. I'm like, I think that's really cool. I love being able to see those types of narratives, because that's something Nintendo doesn't really like to talk about, like, oh, the last system was underpowered, you know, like they don't like to say that. Oh, I got hit by something right as I was crossing. Okay, I still beat a couple of the people I was next to. Alright. Can I get to my last main and vehicle in time? Okay, so first I need to switch back to my Mii. Okay. Grab my main. Quickly. Got it. And I still have time to vote. Look at that. Maple Tree Way. I mean, I love Hyrule Circuit too, so I'm not mad either way. I also like Water Park. No one likes Water Park. I like Water Park. It's fine. It's a good race. It's a perfectly satisfactory race. That guy has brown hair and a very white beard. Like, that is their child made their Mii, because if it was me, I would have been like, oh, my beard is like gray, and like pick like the right shade of gray for it. This kid was like, it is white as paint. Dad's beard or grandpa's beard, white as paint. Bro pulled the eggshell paint off the wall and stuck it to his face. Like, that is a cold depiction on that Mii. Oops, forgot to do a trick. Yeah, I'm really excited for next week and finally being able to play Mario Kart World in earnest. You know, like I got to play it at the event, like in the demo, and that was fun. But like, I don't know, I need more time to explore and to cook, you know, to get an idea of like what I want to do in it. I'm really excited to be able to like play the free roam mode in actuality and like do like the little missions scattered around the world. I was worried. I thought I was at the end, and so I used the coin, and then it was not the end, and I was like, oh no. Oh, so I did the math, because I made a post day one with the original Mario Kart 8. I made a Facebook post when I had unlocked all of the characters, where I mentioned how many coins I'd gotten, and how many cart parts that was. I had unlocked 16 cart parts. You get one cart part in the original game every 50 coins you collect. So I was like, I had collected over 800 coins. Ah, still third. Oh, okay, wait, no. I was ahead of that Mario. I thought the Mario was the one in third, but no. Alright, well. Not bad. Oh my god, is one of them a simp for me? Are they simping me on stream? No. Not there. They don't know I'm here. They don't know who I am. I'm gonna pick random. But yeah, like, Mario Kart World literally is launching like a week away. Crazy to me. Yeah. I was like, I went back in the train of thought, trying to remember where I was. I had since wandered my way over to how much I played of this game, launch day Wii U. I played back in 2014 at least. So if I had 800 coins, the maximum you could collect is 10 coins per race. I was playing single player GPs. I was not playing multiplayer GPs where you can collect, at least in the original game, more coins than 10 per race. You could collect up to 40 if everyone you were playing with had collected in the Grand Prix 10 coins. In versus mode, it averaged your coins. So like if two of you had 10 coins and two of you had 8 coins, you would have gotten 9 coins out of it. Kind of a weird way to do it. I don't know why they did it differently across those two modes. But it means that I did at least 80 races. In 50, 100, and 150cc. I was at the point that I was trying to 3-star all of the 150cc's. I'd already 3-starred 50 and 100. It was easier to 3-star in this game. You just needed to get first place. 3-starring on like 3DS, you needed to win with a specific lead. Like your lead in first place needed to be large enough that you got the like, there would be like a beat that would start playing in tempo with the music that you would hear. You had to have that when you finished every race to get 3 stars in 7. In 8, you just needed to get first, and in Wii, it was so strict. You had to like not just get first in every race, but you had to do like really well in every race to get like the stars. At least from what I remember. Like you needed to like not follow the tracks much, if at all. You know, you needed to get first in every race. You needed to get like the initial boost or something. Like, maybe that was just kid me thinking that was what you needed to do, but like it felt a lot tougher to get 3 stars. This game was very easy, and I was trying to 3-star 150. So I know for a fact I had at least 3-starred all of 50 and all of 100, because I didn't realize that if you 3-starred in 150, it counted for 50 and 100 in that same cup. So I probably did, there were 8 cups of 4 races. I had to do them at least 3 times. So 8 times 4 is what, 20? No, 32. So there's 32 races per set. I needed to do those 32 at least 3 times. So is that like 92-ish to get all of them? So I probably did all of the 3 stars and 50 and 3 stars and 100 before I got to 150. Like I stayed in each speed. So I think what I ended up doing was, in fact, probably closer to like 90 to 100, because, you know, not in every race am I ending with 10 coins. In fact, in most I wouldn't be. So the number of coins I would miss would greatly increase. I did like probably 90 to 100 races at various speeds. I played so many hours day one. It's crazy to me that we're almost to the end of this. Like, I put it in the thumbnail and in the title, like, this is really the end of an era. This is the end of the Mario Kart 8 era. You know, Mario Kart 8 has been here for literally, it's 11 years and a week. Will be how long this game has existed as the game. Like, the Mario Kart that you can play. You know, not counting Tour in that equation. Whoa. Oh, I did get a red shell. No. That's fine. I can recover from that. I don't think I will. Ah! Got green shell right at the end. That was a solid second place, though. Hey, guys. He's on a thing of cardboard behind me from the TV box. He likes to sit on it. Yeah, like 11 years of this game and a week. And we only had this, like the original version was 3 years. We had this version for the following 8. So we had 8 years of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 3 years of Mario Kart 8, 11 years of it on the whole. I paid, and this is one of the other things, so many people are very critical of Mario Kart World's pricing. I get that $80 is a lot up front for one game. Thing is, I bought this game at $60 twice. I paid, I think it was like $12 or $14 for the DLC on the Wii U. And I fully would have paid to get the Booster Course Pass had it not been included in my Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass that I got because of the N64 games. Like, I wasn't trying to get Booster Course Pass. I don't think it was announced yet when they announced the expansion. I got the expansion, and then they Booster Coursed me. You know? And that's great. But I think in the end, it means that I paid like about $130-ish for this game. Would have paid close to like 150 for Mario Kart 8 across this 11-year life cycle it's had. If you just count the Switch, like, yeah, I've only paid $60. You know, I paid for the Deluxe version once and then never got the DLC for it directly. That was like $30 in DLC. Something like that. And like, don't get me wrong, this is like the best value in gaming. Like, if you don't have Mario Kart 8 and you are getting a Switch 2 and you don't want to get Mario Kart World for some reason, get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. It is $60. Get yourself the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass. Like, get friends together. Like, don't do it solo, but get friends together. It comes out to like $10 a year. Now you have the Booster Course Pass content in Mario Kart 8. You can't play it in 4K. That's fine. You can play it 1080p 60, very stable 60, unless you have 4 people. Then you're playing at 30, but still. Like, just do that. Get this game. Get that. Like, get 8 friends together, like, or find 8 people online, or I guess 7 people online who are willing to be your family plan. Get that. Pay $10 for the internet. For a year, you have all of the expanded content, which you can play online for free. But yeah, you can get all of that for $65 to $70. Like, if you got the normal online for just you, it's like $5 or $10 a year, I don't remember. And if you got the family plan expansion, it's $10 a year. So like, this can be a very good deal. If you don't want to get Mario Kart World, this is like your cheapest option. Like, this is your bargain option. You can get this game used somewhere. You can get you can get a copy from like a friend who's getting Mario Kart World and they're like, I'm never gonna play this game again. But yeah, definitely like, get this game. If you don't have it, you are not a huge fan of the pricing of Mario Kart World, this game is just fine. And I think there's going to be people playing it online until the servers go down. Even after Mario Kart World. I don't think this game's going to be fully replaced by it. I don't think this game is going to have like the Melee-esque fan base. I think that's still Mario Kart Wii. Given like Mario Kart Wii has all of these insanely good players who use all of the game's exploits and race on custom tracks now because they're all so good at the normal ones. Bingus. Bingus and I win. Bingus and I are we go way back. We're winners. I love repping the Shy Guy there. You know, I think like, I personally, I don't think Mario Kart World is that bad of a value. I don't think it's I don't think it's a game that I'm going to feel bad if I had paid $80 for. I paid $50. I paid $50 for the game because I got the bundle. I normally get physical games. I would have honestly preferred to get a physical copy. Like, if the bundle came with a physical copy, that would be nice, but I get that for the bundle, their goal is to preserve profitability. It happens. But no, I'm really excited for Mario Kart World for that reason. Or well, not for that reason. Like, not that, like, oh, I paid $50 for it instead of, oh, we're doing mirror mode, instead of 80. Like, I honestly think I would have been fine paying 80. Even though I have my concerns with the game, I'm not necessarily fully sold on all aspects. I think it's going to be a very fun game, and my impression has changed since I played it too, because when I played it, I didn't know, and you'll notice, like, Glenn and I don't talk about this at all in our video. I said I remember, and if we do, it's that we didn't know this. You can just, if you hold the drift button, you know, you'll hop in this game, but in Mario Kart World, you crouch down first, and you can let go after a certain amount of time, and you'll hop and do a little trick, as if you just went off a ramp. Which is something I had noticed in the water entirely accidentally. I was like, oh, you can kind of use the buoyancy of the water to do tricks. I was just holding the button by accident longer and then letting go when I got there without even realizing it. And so I was doing those tricks, and it made the water a lot more entertaining and fun while I was in it, that I could do that. But I wasn't just doing normal tricks, I was like just doing this like in-place boost that I just didn't even know was in the game. Hey, nice. I know you went out. Alright. I'm flying down here. Yeah, I was like, I'm getting hit by something no matter what, I think. One thing I do really hope, though, is that I can choose to turn off the fact that items get automatically held behind you. Like, I'll get used to it. Hey, Buzz, not yet. Not yet. Give me a second. I'm on the last lap, Zaza. Then you can get lap time. Yeah, I know, you went out. Quit climbing. Quit climbing. Hold up. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Making me get 8th place. Come here. Did you turn it off or just down? Okay. Oh, hi, boys. He is here now. Well, hello. Doing alright. I've gained points today, and I am very out of practice, so I'm not upset. I'm doing good. It's a good day. How are you doing? No, not tomorrow. My normal stream days are Saturday and Wednesday. I do Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then normally Wednesdays at like 7 p.m. Eastern. But my plan this coming week is not to do a stream on Wednesday. Instead, to do a stream basically as soon as I possibly can on Thursday, because I'm not doing a midnight release pickup for my Switch 2. I've officially decided that is not going to be the case. I am instead picking up my Switch 2 around noon Eastern, and then when my GameStop opens, because where I pre-ordered. And then I'm going to be doing a stream basically as soon after that as possible. So between having to get home and get everything installed, it'll probably be like maybe like closer to 2 or 3, I would think. You know, because I'm imagining picking up my console is going to take, you know, once I get into the store around noon, like it's probably going to take like maybe 10 minutes if there's like a bit of a line, but I'll be there pretty early in the day, so it's not going to be the end of the world. And then I'm probably going to have to Uber home because my wife will have the car. And I won't have any other rides possible. And she's not going to be able to like leave work to take me home, and then head back. That would be silly. So I'm probably gonna like just Uber home to get back faster. This race is not going well for me. I feel like Tokyo Blur always goes poorly for me. Tokyo Blur does not like me. So on my plan for Thursday, because usually I alternate. Usually my weekend is whatever like my main stream series is. It had been Monster Hunter Wilds, but Monster Hunter Wilds does not want to cooperate with me streaming. My computer's not quite strong enough to handle the game and the stream going at the same time. So I'm kind of in between series. I do have plans to start a series. I do a lot of like Pokemon content. That tends to be my main game. So on my weekend stream, it's usually like whatever Pokemon game I'm playing or whatever. Today, because this is going to be the last stream before the Switch 2 comes out, I wanted to play some Mario Kart, which isn't super uncommon for me to play on like a Wednesday, because I have a full-time job, so I get home from work and Mario Kart's nice and relaxing. So sometimes I play that, sometimes I play other games. I usually refer to that as like kind of my random stream day, or like my you know, chill stream day. I might do some like pixel art. I might do you know, with Mario Kart, I might play like some Overwatch or something. Maybe like a game that I'm gonna play as like a one-off thing. The past several streams that I did were Poke Rogue, which isn't like a major series. I just was doing that in the meantime while I was figuring out what I wanted to do series-wise, and I was having fun with it. And so like as a result, I was not like, I don't know, like I wasn't like doing a like intending to do it for like a super long-term thing. But I just happened to be doing it on like both of my stream days because I was having fun. But yeah, my stream on Thursday is going to be like a Switch 2 launch day stream. I'm in fact not going to be playing Mario Kart World on it pretty much at all. I might play like a tiny bit, but my plans are actually to play the games that got free updates day one and the games that have upgrade packs that launch day one. So since I have a Nintendo Switch Online expansion, I get the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom upgrades for free. So I'm going to be like looking at those. I'm going to be looking at possibly ARMS, definitely Pokemon Violet, because that's the one that I have, and that's getting a free update to run a little nicer. You know, like basically all of the games that I have from the Switch 1, basically. That's going to be a lot of my Switch launch day stream, and then I think I'm going to actually be doing one the following day, because I have work off, so that Friday, I'll probably be doing like a Mario Kart World stream or something like that, like something more dedicated to like something Switch 2. But it's not going to be like a scattershot me exploring the Switch 2 stream. It's going to be very straightforward, I am playing a specific game type stream. And then I'll be streaming again the day after, actually, because I normally stream on Saturday. So it's gonna be a lot, actually, this next week. Oh, that's cool. I'm personally not looking for anyone, but you're welcome to share. Like as far as that stuff goes, it's always really cool to see like what different people like make in like the thumbnail, kind of like different thumbnail arts, and I see you do like different like animation screens and stuff like that. So like I'd always love to see cool work from people. So like yeah, feel free to share that. I have like I personally make my own thumbnails, which part of the reason they're not great necessarily is because I don't always have time to make nice ones. And I'm also like, I'm weird. I love a very consistent template, even though I know that's very much not what the modern algorithm favors. It favors these like really dramatic things. So I don't experiment a lot. You know, you'll see I have a lot of very similar thumbnails on my channel. But I work with like a few different friends I have who like are different artists to like get certain assets here and there. I make my own logos though. Like I have a friend from college, phenomenal artist. You can find him online at 4 Dozen Eggs, which is a reference to a Beauty and the Beast YouTube poop, where it's like Gaston, like in his song, but like chopped together and edited in all these wacky ways. And like he just loves that video, and that was the origin point of his handle. I hope that's not a story he doesn't want people to know. But phenomenal artist. He does a lot of like if I need like a specific art piece for the channel, I go to him like 90% of the time. And like often if I don't, it's because I'm like, he's busy with stuff and I don't want to like put more on his plate, because I know he'll be willing to put me on his plate even if he doesn't necessarily have the time, or at least I'm afraid he will. So like I don't want him to prioritize me over like actual work or school work when he was in school and whatnot. So I'm like, I'm always cautious to give him too much, especially because I know he worked with like a few VTubers that we know. If you'd like to see some of his work, actually, you can check out Hiro Kanoki. I think that's the enunciation. On Twitch. He's also on YouTube. His VTuber rig was designed by 4 Dozen Eggs. I can't remember which artist did the rigging for his current model. His original model was both rigged and drawn by 4 Dozen Eggs. This one's just drawn by 4 Dozen Eggs and then was rigged by a separate artist, because he's less experienced in rigging and was perfectly fine with letting it be rigged by someone else. But he's also done Auto Hibiki and Icon Uegaki. He has some more that he's done too. I've seen a few designs. I don't know the creators that they were for, but he takes a lot of YouTuber commissions and stuff, and it's really cool. But yeah, I don't use it super often, but I am also DurchBurch on Instagram. So yeah, feel free to share your work there, and I'll take a look. And I love seeing cool stuff. Bez is so sleepy now. Also, I am nearing the end of today's stream. I'm going to be ending around 3 today because I have some stuff to prep for after the fact. Normally there's a table behind me. There's no table behind me right now because we're prepping for said stuff. So yeah. I don't know, I think there is something kind of fun by me having this like huge TV in front of me that's very bright. I get a lot of enjoyment behind seeing... We're back on Moonview Highway. I get a lot of enjoyment out of just seeing like when the like name tags flash on screen and like they're all like bright white for the most part, like seeing the like white light shine onto me there. I don't know why that excites me. I'm like, oh, it's like I'm in the game. But expect more of that with Switch 2 content down the line. This is the first time I've streamed from this this specific setup. I haven't streamed. I've specifically not streamed from my Switch since getting this TV because I was like, oh man, I have to like get in people's way. I have to take the entire living room. It's me now. Thankfully, I felt really bad because we had a friend living with us for a while, and like felt bad that, you know, they had to deal with the fact that there were like 2 times a week, most weeks, that the living room was just a place that if you went into it, there's a chance you're on a camera. I always feel really conscious of that, and I kind of feel bad like taking up so much space from people. So I hope that, you know, someday in the future, when my wife and I like own a home, you know, because we're renting right now, but like at some point I want us to be able to get like an actual house and live there. I want like a dedicated room for streaming. Not necessarily like super far out of the way or anything. Like I want it to be accessible, where it doesn't feel like I'm not in the house when I'm like gaming and stuff like that. But I do want like a dedicated like game room, with like its own Switch dock set up and like with my computer in it and stuff like that, so that I can be in like kind of my own like tucked away space while I'm streaming, but like, you know, like people can hang out and stuff like that. Like I'd want to use it as like sort of the primary living room, so to speak, when I'm not streaming, but having like a secondary living room that exists, that like people can just utilize. That's kind of like that's my dream scenario. Is like I can have like a room that has like all of my games and figures on a wall and like different like plushies and stuff like that. Like I can have like a display area in there. I can have like a couch or a love seat. Like I can have a table. I want to have like a table that has like a smart light above it so that like I could host like tabletop sessions or something and like have mood lighting and things like that. I don't know. It's like my dream setup. And like I could also like have like the lighting in the room like turn to like specific colors tied to my channel. Oh, I think that would be pretty nice. But then, like, at the same time, like, when I'm not streaming, it can be very, like, connected to what everyone else is doing, and I'm not, like, off on, like, a separate floor doing my own thing. That's something I'm always very conscious of, is, like, how much space I take up when I'm streaming. I'm also, like, always acutely aware that, like, it's inherently kind of, like, not weird, but, like, I don't know, like, I'm always cautious about, or not cautious, like, I guess self-conscious of, like, doing crazy voices, or, like, even sometimes, like, talking, like, about more, like, serious topics and stuff while, like, other people are in the house. You know, like, it doesn't feel like it's, like, as intimate of an environment as it necessarily, like, feels like it should be to me. I don't know. I don't know if that made any sense, but, like, it's interesting. So it's, like, that's kind of why, if we would, like, have our own, like, dedicated house, and I could, like, make specific changes to it and stuff without feeling weird, that's, like, some of the stuff I would want to do, is, like, have that, like, dedicated sort of, like, game room space. Ah, hello. I didn't want to take this route, but I took this route now. I see that there's a message in chat, and I will look at it soon. Yeah, I figured they were saving that for that. Nice. I bumped him into that third place. Awesome. Sounds good. I will take a look. Alrighty. Well, that is going to be the end point of today's stream anyway, so. And he's all cozy. Oh man, I love Mario Kart 8. Like, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't agree that it's an awesome Mario Kart game, but on the Switch alone, I have gotten 14,308 coins. That is a lot of day one coinage. Now, give me tilt controls and smart steering, 0%. I do not like smart steering. I cannot wait to be able to turn it off in Mario Kart World, because I did not have that option when we were playing. It just had to be on, unfortunately. Yeah, this is just, like, it's such an awesome game. It has such an awesome soundtrack. It has so many awesome races. Like, I don't even, like, remember the fact that these are here half the time, because I played this battle mode, like, twice ever. I haven't played it since, like, 2018. Like, these have awesome remixes. All of these, absolute amazing soundtrack, like, for the original soundtrack. The DLC, it's not as good. It's admittedly not as good. Still very good. Still a very good soundtrack. One of the best soundtracks in Nintendo history. very good game overall. I'll leave it sit on this screen. But, you know, we're nearing the end. Switch 2. Next week. I work a 3-day week. I'm off on Thursday and Friday, so Switch launch days. I am off. And I will be streaming. And I will be streaming again on Saturday. You know, if I have to cancel any of those, I will say, but not planning to. I'm planning to stream my full excitement with the game. Or games on Thursday, and then I guess game Friday and Saturday. I don't know. It's gonna be really cool. I'm very excited. There's so many games getting free updates. Oh, I remember what I was gonna do. Okay, I think this is how I'm gonna do it. Thursday stream. Exploratory. I'm playing a bunch of different games that got updates and upgrades. Friday, Bowser's Fury, which I don't think I have ever streamed. I looked it up and I did not see it. So it's going to be Bowser's Fury on Switch 2. So stable frame rate, probably locked at least at 1080p. HDR, which the stream is not HDR, so I won't be sharing that aspect of it, I guess. But I'm gonna be taking like the full advantage of everything that the Switch 2 can do to be able to play Bowser's Fury on the channel for the first time, which I enjoyed it the first time I played it. I haven't played it since I first played it, so it's kind of exciting to be able to play it again years later. And to be able to play it on Switch 2. I'm then going to wait until Saturday. On Saturday, I will be playing Mario Kart World. So kind of giving myself the most amount of time to get comfortable with the game before I stream it. Buzz is chasing his tail on the cardboard. Yeah. Come here. He coming.
Sheets.
Beautiful. But yeah, I want my first experience. I genuinely do not want Mario Kart World, my first experiences with it, like owning it, like playing the full game, to be on camera. I want to just be in it. Yeah, I want to experience the game and have fun with it completely on my own to start. So that's my plan, is to just experience the game on my own. And then come Saturday, once I've, had my experience with it and, can play it and enjoy it with viewers and stuff, I will do that then. Hey, Buzzy. Hey, Buzzy. Hey, Buzzy. But yeah, but I'm giving it till Saturday. And then I will note, I do have plans for a new main channel series ahead of Pokemon Legends ZA, which we know now is coming out in October. So I'm hoping I'll be able to beat it before then. But my plan is to play Alfred's Super Mario Mon series. That's my next main series that I'm intending to do. So look forward to that. And in the meantime, I will see you guys with the Switch 2. It's the last stream I'm doing before it, so exciting times. I don't know. I'm so far away from everything, so it feels weird to do my outro here, but I'll do it. Baby. Yeah, come here. Here. Come say goodbye. Yeah. Alright. So, thank you so much if you joined me live or after the fact. Either way is cool with me, as long as you had some fun. That said, I'm gonna go do human things as humans do, and you probably should too. But say goodbye to them. He's like, I went down now? Maybe? I don't know. I didn't want this. And he's gone. Alright. Goodbye, everyone. I have to go all the way over here to my computer.